Everybody ready? All right, Coach, we'll turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming out, and we're certainly excited, for our rivalry week. First thing I want to do is kind of wrap up the Western Michigan game, and I think anytime you play a good football team, you have to give them credit. I think Western Michigan is a very good football team this year. I think when the year's over, they'll have one of the top offenses in the league, if not the country. I think they have a very improved defense, and they're one of the best special teams group in the league, and they've proved that. And so we certainly want to give them credit for playing an excellent football game. And I think from our perspective, it's very important for our football team this year that we show that we're an improved football team, and that we're bringing this program back to a level that we're competing for championships in bowl games, and that's our goal. And there's obviously two ways that you show improvement. I think the one is very obvious, that you win more games. And I'm not talking about, beating the Morgan State. That's certainly a game that I believe last year's team would have won, but you show improvement by maybe winning games you wouldn't have won the year before. I think Idaho was an example of that. I think the Miami game was an example of that we clearly showed we're an improved football team. The second way you show improvement is by being certainly more competitive and putting yourself in a position to win games that maybe the year before you weren't. And certainly I look back to last year, and the Ohio game, the Western Michigan game, the Toledo game were games that were not competitive football games. And I think the disappointment over Western Michigan is, if you look at the final score and you look at the amount of yards that we gave up, you say it's no different than a year ago, when in reality the game played much differently. A year ago, Western's 7-0 became 14, became 21, became 27 at the half, and it was a non-competitive football game. And this year, they go up 7-0, and instead of hanging our heads, bang, it's 7-7. And then they score again, and we respond 14-14. And then it's 21, and we're driving again. And I was very proud of our offensive team, because I think last year on offense, a lot of times when things didn't go well, the response wasn't what you wanted, because we were so young on offense last year. We had 4 new offensive line starters. We were starting a freshman quarterback. Alex Baer was a freshman tight end. Kamar Jordan, Binky Cooper, all those guys were playing for the first time. And I think offensively, having gone through that experience, our guys are much more resilient now and have the ability to bounce back. And on defense, we're improved, but we're a little younger on that side of the ball. And the disappointment is that, we had some young guys on defense that have been playing at a pretty good level. And when one thing went bad, it snowballed. And it's good players. Boo Boo Gates is going to be an excellent football player. I think someday he'll be an all-MAC player. I think Rylan Ward is going to be an all-MAC safety before his career is over. And those guys are good football players, and they're good tacklers. But unfortunately, one bad tackle led to another, and then you end up giving up 153 yards and 6 missed tackles by guys that I firmly believe are good football players, are going to be very good players in this league. And so we just got to become a little bit more resilient as a football team, not allow one bad thing to lead to another. And if we would have managed that a little bit better on Saturday, I think that would have been a much more competitive football game, and we would have given ourselves a chance to win it in the second half. And, but I like the way we've bounced back in practice, and there's no better way to bounce back than to play your rival 20 minutes away. Toledo is a very good football team. They're very experienced. They start 14 seniors. Defensively, they're a very veteran group. They start 8 seniors, and I think it's 3 juniors. And they're physical up front. They run the ball well in the secondary. They're experienced at linebacker, and it's a challenge that we look forward to on offense. And then on offense, I think Toledo has an excellent offensive line. They start 3 seniors and then 2 underclassmen, but it's a very physical group. They have excellent skill, and people talk a lot about Page, but Stafford and Reedy, and they're down. I'm assuming that Thomas isn't going to play, but even without him, Morgan Williams and David Fluellen are 2 excellent tailbacks. And this is going to be a game that we're going to have to be very physical up front. We're going to have to make tackles and plays in space. But we've had a great week of practice, and I know our guys are really looking forward to the challenge and appreciate the rivalry. We're fortunate at Bowling Green to have two rivalries like this that are huge games for us in our program, and we really look forward to Saturday against a very good, well-coached football team. All right, thanks.
Coach, after getting off to the solid start with the 3 wins, does any doubt creep in after losing 3 out of 4 here? What do you say to the team to maybe kind of get them back going?
No, we're a good football team, and we're an improved football team. And we played 2 teams the last 2 weeks that we had to play better than we did. West Virginia's a good football team. We did not play at the level we're capable of. Western Michigan is a very good football team. We did not play at a level necessary to be the team of that quality. And I look at it, it's on us. It shouldn't matter who we play. That right now we've got enough good football players and enough skilled guys that if we focus on us and we execute better and we don't turn the football over and we tackle in space better, we believe we have a chance to win a bunch of games this year. So again, there's confidence is always a factor, but we try to focus on blocking better, getting off blocks, tackling, doing a great job in special teams, because at the end of the day, doing things technically right and executing the plan is what's going to win you a game. So, the players will gain confidence by doing things correctly, and that's where we are now, is that we're focusing on fixing the schematic and the technical mistakes that we made and becoming a better football team this Saturday, and I'm confident that's going to happen.
You have a young team, a young defense. Their defense is banged up pretty much. They've lost a lot of people from injuries from some of the games. If you had to take a look at the game, would you think this would be probably a game that your offense needs to rack up a lot of points to, more of a high-scoring game than maybe a really low-scoring game?
I don't ever want to say that. We expect our defense to play well. We're never going to go to a game and say, hey guys, we got to win this one 50-49. We expect our defense to play well. Toledo on offense presents a great challenge, and they have good skilled athletes, but we have good players on defense. So we've got to execute the plan, and we've got to tackle their guys, knowing that tackling an Eric Page, he's a good player. Tackling David Flellen, tackling Morgan Williams, those guys are good football players, and so we're going to have to play well and tackle well and improving some things that we haven't done well the past 2 weeks to be successful on defense. And I think the message on offense is whatever it takes. That we got to be ready to respond and answer the call, whatever that is. And I think, and I say this a lot, the mark of a good football team is the ability to win both types of games. The teams that I've had over the years that have won championships, at some point you pull one out, 62-56. And then maybe 2 weeks later, you find a way to win one 17-13.
You probably looked at a lot of film, and you know Eric Page as well. What have teams been trying to do to him to contain him, and what have they not been successful? I know he's a load anyway because of the moves he makes in the open field. You need like 2 or 3 guys to have a shot at bringing him down. But what have you seen people working on this year, and has there been any effectiveness at all of that?
It really hasn't been effective because I think staff-wise, they do a great job of ensuring that he's going to touch the football. That they'll try to get it to him in a traditional way. They'll put him in the slot and try to match him up against a linebacker or a safety and bank on the fact that he's going to win that matchup. But even if you try to bracket him or double him, then they're going to run a speed sweep with him. Then they're going to put him in the wildcat and run the ball with him. They'll put him in a slot position as the number 3 guy and throw a bubble screen to him. So they are going to make sure that somehow, some way, he has an impact on the football game. So it's not like a receiver that they line him up in the same position every single play, and if you double him, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to make sure that somehow he gets his hands on the football and he has an impact on the football game. And he's very talented. He'd probably be one of the best tailbacks in the league. He was a high school quarterback. He throws the ball well. He's an excellent kick returner and punt returner. He's going to have an impact on the game, and for us to be successful,